Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing good. This is Tutor Hira, and it's time for Grade 6 language class. Log into aplusstudents.com. Then go to Language Arts section and open Grade 6. We are going to learn Chapter 15 today, Reflexive and Intensive Pronouns. We will discuss first two lessons, Lesson 1 and Lesson 2. Lesson 1. Choose between personal and reflexive pronouns. I'm sure you know about personal pronouns. Pronouns are the words that are used in place of nouns. When we want to avoid the repetition of nouns, we use pronouns. And reflexive pronoun is a type of pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are pronouns that end in self or selves. Well, if the pronouns, subject pronouns, or you can say personal pronouns, are these. On one side of the table, subject pronouns are given, and on the other side, reflexive pronouns, which are used for these subject pronouns, are mentioned. We can discuss them, but first I'll tell you what is a reflexive pronoun. A reflexive pronoun is used in the sentence or clause in which it appears. What is a reflexive pronoun? It is used to refer back to the subject of the sentence or clause in which it appears, and it should agree with that subject. This is an important point. It should agree with the subject. Means if the subject is singular, use a sort of reflexive pronoun for singular pronouns. And if the subject pronoun is plural, use a reflexive pronoun which is used for plurals. Let's read this sentence. We helped ourselves to some more soup. The subject of the sentence is we. So the reflexive pronoun ourselves is referring back to the subject we. Why have we used ourselves? Not any reflexive pronoun ending in self. I'll discuss now. Look at this table. These are singular subjects, and for singular subjects, reflexive pronouns, the appropriate reflexive pronoun is mentioned. If the singular subject I is in the sentence, use the reflexive pronoun myself. If the subject pronoun is singular you, use the reflexive pronoun yourself, ending in self. All the singular reflexive pronouns end in self. If the subject pronoun is she, it's a singular subject, use herself, reflexive pronoun herself. If the subject pronoun is he, which is a singular subject pronoun, use himself. And if it is it, use itself. Now, if we discuss plural subjects, there are three plural subjects: we, you, and they. If we have we in as a subject pronoun, use reflexive pronoun ourselves, ends in selves. Selves and self, they are different, Self is used with a reflexive pronoun which refers back to singular subject, and reflexive pronoun ending in selves is used to refer back to plural subjects. You, if it is you, use yourselves. Now look, yourself and yourselves, these are different too. Yourself refers back to you, which is a singular subject, and yourselves refer back to you, which is a plural subject. If it is they, use themselves. You can go through this table. You can, reproduce it in your notebook to practice, to learn, okay? And remember it. Okay. So I was telling you that a reflexive pronoun is used to refer back to the subject of the sentence or clause in which it appears, and it should agree with that subject. Now, do you understand how it should agree with that subject? If the subject is singular, use a reflexive pronoun which is used for singular subjects ending in self. Okay, let's read this sentence. After the guests left, Amy made herself a cup of tea. What is the subject in this sentence? Amy. Amy is the name of a female person. It can be she. It can be called she as well. So let's say the subject is she or Amy. It doesn't matter because it's almost same. One is noun, one is pronoun, but we know that in place of this noun, we can use she. So the reflexive pronoun herself refers back to this subject. Subject of the clause in which the pronoun appears is Amy. Amy can be called she, so use herself. And this reflexive pronoun agrees with the subject because subject is singular. This reflexive pronoun ends in self. It's a singular reflexive pronoun. You can say it is used for singular subjects. Now, one main point about reflexive pronouns. A reflexive pronoun can only be used to refer back to the subject of the sentence or clause in which it appears. Only. Remember this. See? So to refer to someone else or something else, a personal pronoun like me, you, him, her, it, us, or them should be used instead. So, what I was telling you is a reflexive pronoun can only be used to refer to the subject of the sentence or clause. But if you want to refer to someone else or something else, a personal pronoun like me, you, him, her, it, us, or them should be used instead. Okay, I'll read two sentences. You'll understand the difference. Jake wrote a note for himself. If the reflexive pronoun is used, it means it refers to the subject of the sentence, Jake. Means Jake wrote a note for himself, not any other person. So the reflexive pronoun himself refers back to the subject, Jake. But if the sentence is Jake wrote a note for him, him does not refer back to Jake. It doesn't mean that Jake wrote a note for himself. Him is used now, a personal pronoun, him, is used. It must refer to someone other than Jake. Because if it is about Jake, if it refers to Jake, reflexive pronoun must be used. But if it refers to, if he wrote a note for some other person, then him must be used. Him refers to someone other than the subject Jake. So it means it is someone else other than the subject Jake. So this is how we use personal pronouns and reflexive pronouns. And reflexive pronoun can only be used to refer to the subject of the sentence or clause in which it appears. It cannot be used for any other person, just for subject. But if you want to refer to someone else, use personal pronoun. Him is the object pronoun or personal pronoun used to refer to someone else other than the subject, Jake. Stand it. No problem, Asha. You're not late. Um, well, if you have just joined us, you have missed some explanation of the topic. Select the best pronoun to complete the sentence. Will the astronomer you contacted show blank how to use the observatory's telescope? Now, you or yourself. You is a personal pronoun and yourself is the reflexive pronoun. Which one do you have to use? Now you have to decide. If you will have to refer back to the subject of the sentence, use reflexive pronoun. If you have to refer to someone else, use personal pronoun. Will the astronomer you contacted show you or show yourself how to use the observatory's telescope? Well, you're saying it's option two. Okay, let's select option two and then decide whether it is correct or not. Hmm. No, it's not correct. Because we don't require any pronoun which refers back to the subject of the sentence. We are referring back to another person. So we need, will the astronomer you contacted show you how to use the observatory's telescope? We want, so what is the subject? You do not have to use a reflexive pronoun here, okay? Because the subject of the sentence is astronomer. Will the astronomer show? This you contacted is another part of the sentence. Will the astronomer show you how to use the observatory's telescope? So astronomer is the subject. If astronomer is the subject, the reflexive pronoun should be himself, not yourself. But we are not referring back to the subject of the sentence. We are referring back to another person. So we use personal pronoun. She excused blank from the dinner table to take an important phone call. Now, she excused herself or themselves. Both are reflexive pronouns, and I know you know about it because one ends in self, one ends in selves. Both are reflexive pronouns, but you just have to use the proper one, the best pronoun, the suitable one, the one which refers back to the subject of the sentence. Because here we don't have to decide between personal and reflexive pronouns. We have to decide between two of the reflexive pronouns, which one suits the subject of the sentence. Subject of the sentence is she, one person. And for she, the appropriate reflexive pronoun is herself. So she excused herself. Now this reflexive pronoun refers back to the subject. From the dinner table to take an important phone call. Well, I can see my other students as well. Welcome, Purity, Anasha, and Nawal. Hello to everybody. Yes, it's option one. Okay. Now select the best pronoun to complete the sentence. Wraparound spiders hide during the day by wrapping blank around twigs. By wrapping themselves or by wrapping yourself. Which one is the? Both are reflexive pronouns. Which one is correct? Guys, I'm waiting for the answers. Wraparound spiders. is the subject. It's a plural subject. So wraparound spiders hide during the day by wrapping themselves. Good. So themselves, because it is used for more than one thing or person. So the spiders are more than one, so we'll use themselves. For this assignment, should we measure in inches or centimeters? Okay, one missing word is this one here. For this assignment, should we measure blank in inches or centimeters? Us or ourselves? Well, we is the subject. So if we is the subject, which reflexive pronoun is used? And this one is going to, we are not going to use personal pronoun, us here, because we need a pronoun which refers back to the subject of the sentence. So we measure ourselves. A job candidate must find some way to distinguish blank from the rest of the pack. Herself or ourselves. Both are reflexive pronouns. Choose wisely. A job candidate is the subject of the sentence. Okay, you are saying option one. No, I guess it was for the previous question. For this question, you need to answer quickly. Well, the subject is a job candidate, singular. So we need as a reflexive pronoun which refers back to singular subject. A job candidate, it can be a female person. It can be about. So must find some way to distinguish herself. The reflexive pronoun ending in self can be used for a singular, can refer back to a singular subject. Ourself refers back to plurals, so we cannot use this one. Yes, Asha, you're right. It's herself. Good job. Will the astronomer you contacted show you or yourself? It's the same one, so we'll skip it. He impressed blank with his knowledge of Greek myths and legends. Well, it's an interesting one. So choose wisely, myself or me. Do we have to use a reflexive pronoun, myself, or the personal pronoun, me? Choose wisely. It's an important one. If you answer this one, I'll understand that you have learned it. Hmm. Asha, you are saying me. Hmm. So you are saying we must use me, a personal pronoun, because we don't require a reflexive pronoun. Because if you use this, it does not refer back to the subject. Subject is he, so it's wrong. The reflexive pronoun cannot be used. Rather, a personal pronoun, me, can be used, which refers to someone other than the subject. He impressed me with his knowledge of Greek and Greek myths and legends. Good job. This weekend, I am dedicating blank to taking care of the chores that have piled up. I am dedicating me or myself. Do we have to use a personal pronoun or reflexive pronoun? Me is a personal pronoun, myself is a reflexive pronoun. Good job, Asha and Laval. Is it David or Laval? I'm not sure. Yes, the answer is myself. This weekend, I am dedicating myself because this reflexive pronoun will refer back to the subject of the sentence. I, myself, is correct. Good job. Select the best pronoun to complete the sentence. Did you injure blank during the ice hockey game last night? Yourself or you? Okay, so it's Esther. Good job, Esther. Hmm. So someone is saying it's option one. We think purity. Asha is saying it's yourself. Option one is also yourself. So yes, you need a reflexive pronoun to refer back to the subject you. Did you injure yourself? And we are talking about a single person here. You here is used for one person. That's why yourself is used. Did you injure yourself during the ice hockey game last night? The infant sucked his thumb and eased blank back to himself. Eased him back or himself back to sleep. Hmm. Asha and Esther have answered himself. Yes. The infant, singular, it can be a male infant. Infant sucked his thumb. We know it's male infant because his is used, because sucked his thumb and eased himself back to sleep because it refers back to the subject, infant. That's why we are using reflexive pronoun. Okay, guys, let's move to lesson number 2. You can complete the test of lesson number 1 later. Now you have understood it. And lesson is about, again, use of reflexive pronouns. So the explanation is not needed. We have already understood. So we'll move straight to test. Complete the sentence with a pronoun that refers back to the subject in bold. Now, subject is mentioned in bold. You have to select the pronoun that refers back to this subject. When you perform this experiment, you must be careful not to burn blank with the acid, yourself or yours. Which pronoun refers back to the subject in bold? We know that a reflexive pronoun refers back to the subject. So that is yourself. Yours is not. So you must be careful not to burn yourself with the acid. Good. Option 1 it is. Now select the sentence with a pronoun that refers back to the subject in bold. Well, the subject is not in bold, but still we can do it. Did you know that an oyster feeds blank by extracting algae from the water? The subject is this one, an oyster. Myself or itself. Now you have to select the suitable reflexive pronoun because both are reflexive pronouns. And Asha, please answer one time. I can see your answers, okay? No need to send it again and again. Yes, Asha, your answer is correct. Itself. Because an oyster is an insect, you can say in an oyster, there is an insect which feeds itself. You know, for animals, we use it or itself. Jake swore to blank long ago that he wouldn't let his physical handicaps slow him down. So, him or himself? The Subject in bold is Jake. Now choose a pronoun that refers back to the subject. Esther with here is here with an answer himself. Yes, the pronoun that can refer back to the subject is a reflexive pronoun, and him is not a reflexive pronoun, it's a personal pronoun. So let's choose himself. Jake swore to himself long ago. Good. Asha, your answer is also correct. Okay. Snakes defend blank with several different strategies. Some hide by burrowing under sand or leaves, while others try to scare potential predators by hissing loudly. Now, the subject is snakes. Choose the pronoun accordingly, themselves or ourselves. It's easy to tell right now because both are reflexive pronouns. Yes, it's option one, themselves. Snakes defend themselves. I forced blank to run one more lap around the track. The subject in bold is I. Now choose a pronoun that refers back to the subject in bold. Hmm. So you're saying myself. Good job, Asha. I forced myself. It's the answer. My grandfather, an immigrant, taught blank English and eventually founded a successful hotel chain. The the subject in bold is my grandfather. Now choose a pronoun that refers back to this subject. Okay, yes, it's himself. My grandfather, an immigrant, taught himself English. As I waited in the car, I caught a glimpse of blank in the rear view mirror and realized that I had forgotten to brush my hair. So, is it I caught a glimpse of me or I caught a glimpse of myself? The subject is I. It is not in bold, right? This is the subject. Which pronoun refers back to this subject? Well, I caught subject I. A reflexive pronoun refers back to the subject. Thomas Jefferson said that which we elect to surround blank with becomes the museum of our soul and the archive of our experiences. We is the subject in bold. Now choose a pronoun which refers back to this subject, ourselves or ours. Thomas Jefferson said that which we elect to surround blank with becomes the museum of our soul and the archive of our experiences. Okay, guys. Nobody answered, but the time is going to be over, so I'm going to tell you. The subject pronoun, sorry, the pronoun as the subject is we. So, which reflexive pronoun refers back to this subject, ourselves? That which we elect to surround ourselves with becomes the museum of our soul. Okay, guys, I hope you understand what are reflexive pronouns. With this, I'm going to end the class. You can complete the test of lesson 1 and lesson 2 after this class. I'll see you again next time. Till then, have a great time. Bye.